Hi. So today's topic is going to be sales professional, solution specialist. I don't care what field it's in. Again, I'm mostly from the automobile industry, but you don't want to be a victim of your manager's neglect. And I know that's going to set some red flags up with both salespeople who are going to say, oh yeah, I understand that. And you're going to have sales managers looking in the mirror, oh, you ain't talking about me. But it's true. But again, hear me out. So managers do not intentionally neglect new salespeople. But as we all do, they have very limited time to sit and train. So again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but there's semi-reasons, I guess. I guess a good manager or good sales leader, or even the dealership itself, the admin, once you arrive there, you'll have a set system of where you're going to go to find out where you sign in, where you sign things out, where you're going to sit, who's who, what's like that. A lot of places today, though, they're just so busy being busy, it gets swept to the side, creates a lot of frustration. So just trying to explain what to potentially expect. The sales manager, besides what they do, their daily habits, they got to deal with the office, they got to deal with complaints. Most of all, once a customer is in the showroom, they need to indirectly direct their attention to what's going on in their showroom. If their salesperson or solution specialist is sitting with a customer, they need to be in a position where they're not distracted and they're trying to listen in and, read some body language. So the good intentions go away. Becomes very frustrating, as you're new, semi-new, and you want to learn. And again, there's skills that you're going to have to learn and techniques that once you are trained and aware of will be a little bit easier for you. But the first week, the first month, a good sales team should have someone that his only purpose is to guide you in the systems of the dealership. That's all. Don't wait for the sales manager, because he's never going to find that 2, 3, 5 hours that you need. Don't put it on your finance manager. He's busy, collecting data to get the deals funded. Don't your used car manager, he'll stick his hand up, but he's busy. Customer comes in, they got to go appraise the car. They got to go to the auction. They got to go through the inventory. Again, should always have somebody, a trusted sales person or a solution specialist. Doesn't have to be the highest unit person, but somebody that's willing to sit there and show you what the paperwork is, where to find the paperwork, where to bring the paperwork, where to bring your trade, where to find a car, things like that. So, it's complex. You'll find through your sales career, though, that some sales pros are better than their managers. There's a lot of weak managers in the business, and it just is what it is. A lot of weak managers in all businesses. They like what they do. They're particularly good at it, and I get it. So there are sales pros that you're going to find, solution specialists, that same job as you, they never take a fresh up because they've mastered their book of business. Their book of business is basically anybody that they've sold in the previous year, 10 years, lifetime. They have those people at their fingertips. And especially today with technology, they can press of a button once a month. They can reach out to everybody that they've sold a car to in the past 20 years. I know that seems hard to believe, but it's done. And you'll find people as your career progresses that do that. They constantly remind previous customers that they're still in the business. They may not be at the same location, but they're still in the business. So again, it's very doable. Insurance agents do that all the time. They have their book of business and they reach out once a year, whenever renewals are up, once every 2 years. A good one will reach out previous to the signing to see if there's either something else that they can sell you or if something else better come out. So just cautionary tale. Again, by doing the book of business, you can actually build your future. The car sales, car solutions, automotive industry isn't going anywhere. At least not in our lifetimes, whether it's mine or it's 20-year-old young man or young ladies. There's always going to be a need for transportation. You know, whether it's gas, electric, solar, who knows? But it's always going to be there. So build your book of business. Keep all your customers and their contact information separate. This is where I'm going to get yelled at. Separate from the CRMs that the dealership gives you and lets you use. Because here's what happens. You work for the store for 2-3 years. You decide you want to go someplace else. You do the right thing, right? Boss, I appreciate everything you've done for me for the past 2, 3, 5, 20 years, but I'm leaving. I'm going to a different location, a different store, closer to the home, further from the home, where I want to make home, whatever it is. The next morning, you have no access to your CRM. It might even be 10 minutes later. You have no access to your CRM, no access to your emails. Again, dealership becomes overly protective of their customers. So what I always tell people is, do your thing, put your information in the CRM, and then find a way to maintain a list or log of the people that you sold cars to. Again, they bought the car not from the dealership. They bought the car from you, the solution specialist. Think about that. They bought the car from you. They liked your personality. You did a great meet and greet. You qualified them. You found out their needs assessments. They liked you. Okay? That's why they pulled the trigger and said, let's do this. Own that customer. Let him or her own you. So I'll get into more on this my next video. Hopefully everybody has a great day. Thank you.